Hi, hello, and welcome to PopPedia Podcast. My name is Kunal. For today's podcast, I am with Mr. Atul Kumar. Atul Kumar is a theatre practitioner. And Atul sir, I just want to start the podcast. And the first thing that I want to ask you is, how did you get the interest to get into theatre? I mean, we have all heard stories, but I would like for you to talk about it a little.
You sure, sure. Is this going to be in English or is this free flowing? Swahili will do. कहते हैं हाँ. Okay. Auto translators. Anything can happen. I started it in school. I think most of the people who get into theatre, it starts either in school or college. So it's a regular story, no hoo ha. I do come from a merchant class family, though I'm a Marwadi. So I was the only one who sort of stepped out of the circle. So it was a bit weird. I myself was quite overwhelmed with this new world of make believe. But it happened when I was pretty young. I was, I think, 7th standard. I must have been 12 years old. I went to a convent school where they used to have these play competitions. So I participated in one, and before I knew, they started putting medals in my neck, and I was just addicted. After that, there was no looking back. Now I'm 56. It's been like close to 40 years and over. Yeah, there was no looking back.
Crazy. And because you have been doing theatre for 40 years, what I wanted to ask next was, does like the things that you seek from theatre change over years, over time, and how has it changed for you? Like the perception or the meaning of what you crave or seek from theatre, has it changed over time, or has it been a thing that has been constant?
No, yeah, if it was constant, I'd rather be sitting at my father's shop in Old Delhi and selling dry fruits there. I think that's the reason why one continued. Uh, I think the whole idea of leaving that kind of life was to seek change and constant growth. And I think art would be dead if it's not changing and developing and it's not dynamic. I think it's very important for things to change. So, yes, I mean, what I was seeking when I was 12 years old is not what I was seeking when I was 25 or 35 or 45. Uh, and since last decade or so, it's one has also questioned why one is an artist. Why am I doing this? What has it served me, or what has my art served to the community? And where we are today in the world, the condition of the world, of nature, of environment, and especially me, when you're 56, you start getting slaps, on your face because your daughters have grown up and they're moving away and your friends are leaving you. You're realizing your mistakes, your trauma cycles are kicking in, and you realize, oh my God, I mean, is it worth being an artist at all, or should one leave everything and just like commit the rest of the life in just, seeking relationships back again? And so, yeah, it's changing constantly, and it must, I think.
And has those questions found answers, the questions that you talked about?
No, I don't think I found answers ever. Again, the answers are dynamic. Within those answers, there are mistakes and more questions. So, yeah, I think there's no absolute really. I mean, things will be very boring if it was black and white. It's always going to be shades of gray.
Of course, of course. And you talked two times about your age. You talked two times about that you're 56. How does it really get to you? Do you really feel old?
It's actually the contrary, because people around me keep telling me that I wish I was playing my age, I was behaving my age. Um, I think I'm fortunate uh, that my body functions still perfectly, and I don't have any ailments, and I do physical theatre. And my training has been in physical theatre, so I do sports, I swim. I've not been gymming. I need to lose another like 8 to 10 kilos now in the next 3 months. So I'm going to go into solid regime now. Uh, but yes, I mean, working either in film world or in theatre, a lot of people just keep telling me, um, लगते नहीं हैं आप 56 साल के, आप क्या खाते हैं, क्या करते हैं. ऐसा कुछ है नहीं जो मैं करता हूँ या खाता हूँ. आई थिंक आई मस्ट से आई एम ब्लेस्ड and privileged, that body functions are fully there. But the thing is that also has sort of permeated into my behavior. uh, I strongly believe that I stopped growing post 35 years of age. Uh, I get shocked when I look in the mirror sometimes. I realize, oh my God, there's this white haired man looking at me. And that's when I realize, oh, I am this age. And if I don't look at the mirror, I just keep forgetting. And I hang with younger people. I get very bored with people my age. I find, younger people who are challenging me constantly, calling me out, or with times they're changing very fast. Those generation gaps are very exciting for me. To sit in a room with people who have similar views as me is very boring, you know. Yeah, but it's for the same reason that also people talk about, "Arey yaar, umr ka lihaz to karo," things like that. And no wonder that I actually married twice, thrice in fact. All my relationships have been with younger women, except one. Yeah, so it all must be tying in as one. Since you mentioned age, I'm going in all this. Sorry.
As an artist, just as an art, just from the perspective of an artist, do you ever feel if you didn't had any relation with anyone, if you didn't have kids, if you didn't have your wife, if you didn't have any romantic relationship, if you didn't have friends, you'd be more free to explore and talk about theater and like go much deeper? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, but I don't think so. I think everything that I have gone through also creates my core, my myself, and how I see the world today, or all these things that I'm saying today to you, sharing, comes from those experiences of having, had very passionate relationships with wonderful women, powerful women, and to have children who are loving and are growing up to be thinking children. Just a sec. Yeah, yeah. So I am a sum total of all these experiences, and if you take all that away, then I think it'll be another person. Who knows what I'll be? I might not even be here talking to you then. Who knows?
Are you happy
Right now?
in general or right now?
No, I'm not. Actually, I'm not. Um, I'm I'm experiencing a lot of whatever this word means, unhappiness, for the last few years since I started to getting to know myself. Um, because the moment I opened those doors, I started becoming more vulnerable and looking at the world a little more openly, and not with myopic eyes of an artist who's just busy making work. I think I'm very privileged. I think I have my children who are healthy and are alive. They might not be with me, but I have access to them. And there are hundreds and thousands of people who come and see my work, who love me, and there is a close circle of friends who love me, who are there. I have everything, right? And yet there is this unspoken unhappiness that has settled in. I have no idea why. Um, I don't know. It's all these images that are being thrown at us of what is happening around in the world, what we are doing to the environment in which my children are going to grow into. And also, there is now an awareness of how one conducted oneself in the past. And that awareness has come, and with that awareness has come the realization that, oh my God, I didn't know that I was doing so many things in such a wrong way. And but it sits heavy. It sits heavy on your conscience that you didn't know any better, and you probably hurt a lot of people, or you didn't do many things you should have, or you did things which you shouldn't have. Um these are not very, very dire things. I've not I'm not an aggressive person. I've never raised my voice. I've never raised my hand at anyone in my life. But there are other ways of aggression which are quieter. And I think I have hurt a lot of people. Uh, and trying to survive myself, my own trauma cycles, and my own coming out of, the background that I come from, Old Delhi, Marwadi business background, uh, lot of abusive childhood. But then you become someone who then needs to survive in this world. But your ways are such that you don't know, which only when you're bloody 50 years old you realize, oh my God, when you get into psychotherapy and you realize, oh my goodness, I was doing all this to all these people and I thought I was being wonderful. So yeah, there's a deep-seated sadness that is like seeped in, and I don't even know if I have enough number of years left to be able to undo that, although I'm fighting and I'm trying, and I will continue to, uh, you know, uh, rectify, change, since you asked about change, and make art which helps me to do that. And ways, just like I was saying, I want to start with one person and see what my relationship with that person is. Um, yeah. So a lot of introspection, a lot of looking at oneself deeper has started, and that has brought in a lot of sadness, yes. But having said that, life is full of laughter, music, dance, you know, yeah, travel, and I do a lot of comedies, and I'm known to be doing comedies. So all that is there. I mean, that doesn't stop.
And does that help you in not being unhappy in a way?
No, no. In fact, all the things are complementing each other. I think. Uh, I don't think happiness and sadness are like two sides of. I think there is one in the other all the time. Yeah, I think. Just amazing you're asking me this. Day before yesterday, I went and saw this film, the one which won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. All we imagine is light. Yeah. Sorry, Grand Prix. Yeah. Payal's film. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, have you seen it?
Yeah. We both saw it.
Yeah,
अहमदाबाद में एक ही शो आया था.
Lucky you saw it, because I saw it day before yesterday, and all these things that I'm talking about right now are there in the film, in every shot, in Kani's eyes. I mean, Kani is so wonderful. It's constantly that sadness in her eyes, and then yet, I mean, just look where the film goes, and there is hope, and there is suspension of that other, which is happiness. It's just beautiful. And I saw that, and yesterday I went and saw a play at G5A. It's called Mizok. If you get a chance, since you're in the city, please go and see it. It's today, it's running, and tomorrow it's running. If you're city, please see it. It might not travel to Ahmedabad. It's by Jyoti Dogra, who's a wonderful theatre director. And see if you can interview her. She's really a fantastic theatre maker, probably one of the most important theatre makers in our country right now. And she's done this new play. It opened yesterday, and it talks about the same thing. It talks about this beautiful mountain called Mizok. I think it's a fictitious name given to a mountain, and using the metaphor of this peak mountain, snow-capped thing, 5 lives unravel themselves on stage, which is beautiful. It's sad. I was crying throughout, and then it's so funny. I was laughing my head off. It was just brilliant. And again, same thing. And there's a lot of introspection and humanity that you can see in that kind of work, which is there.
And you talked a lot about how you miss your children, although you can reach them anytime. What I wanted to ask you was, over all these years, does the idea of longing change for you? Like the people that you long, the people that are away from you, does that change? Because me and Yash, we are going to be leaving for masters soon, and I get very scared really. Sometimes think about that, the people that I have in Ahmedabad, the friends, the family that I have in Ahmedabad. There's a chance that I might be leaving them for some time, and because you have been, so do you ever think about longing in a different way, or is it always the same?
strange, all these questions right now. Just like 4 days back, three of us, single people, three friends, a woman and two of us male people. Just here in a bar. We were sitting and having beer, and we were talking of loneliness, uh, because all three of us are single. Uh, Longing. Well, they're two different things, though. Um, huge longing for many things, uh, especially people and especially your loved ones. So my kids don't live with me, and so my biggest longing right now is to be able to wake up every morning and see the faces of my children, which is something I don't have, uh, and I'm slowly coming to terms with it. But that longing is there every day; it just sits there heavy. Um, Although my child comes here and stays with me, the younger one who's 8 years old, every weekend or every other weekend she comes here, and every Wednesday I go to her mother's house, and then we spend time there. And all the holidays we divide, and then we travel all over. So with her it's that. With my older one, who has been someone who has faced the brunt of my older self, a father who did not know as much, but has suffered a lot because of that. And and she's a very knowing person, so she's someone who realizes that she needs to. She's 19 as well, so she's also at the age when normally people sort of distance themselves from. I mean, every story is rooted, every trauma story is rooted back to father. So that doesn't change. So now she's sort of distanced herself from me, and I'm just dying to see her face, or receive a message, or get a phone call from her all the time. And it's very heavy. It's very, very tough to 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 go from one day to the other, not hearing from her. But she's good. She's happy. She's a scholar. She's not interested in the arts. Her mother's a very famous film actor as well, and but she wants to be. She's an academic, so pursue. She's going to pursue academic, life, uh, and so be it. But I just hope we can find each other soon, again. So that's my biggest longing, really. Uh, as far as a personal life is concerned, my God, I mean, there is sometimes a longing for a partner. Although because one has been through so much, I'm enjoying my solitude. I'm also enjoying being by myself. Uh, I think I think it'll be tough for me to uh, permanently live with someone now, um, because I've also started enjoying this, this being by myself. So yeah, if it'll be a relationship with someone, it'll be a very specific kind of a relationship where there is a lot of solitude, but your longing has been taken care of. um, I don't have parents, they both passed. I have a brother in Delhi, and I have some very dear friends, uh, like two or three who are very close. And yes, I do long for them. But see, again, I'm talking about people. And I think that's where primarily it ends. Because all other things, I feel, other than nature, are transient. And and I'm also fortunate because we created an artist residency in the hills in close to Lonavala, which is where probably we should have met, actually, in the nature. Yeah.
What's it called, the place?
We call it nothing. We just call it Workspace, named after our theatre company's name. We call the TCT Workspace. It's 5 acre of property surrounded by a lake and hills. Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can talk. Yeah, so that is something I can always just leave Bombay and go to. So I have that, which is again another privilege. We created that 12 years back for us and for other artists. So that's there. So I can be immediately amongst the birds and trees, and Yeah, and
You like nature?
yeah. That's why I spend a lot of time there. We make all our work there. We don't work here. So
Makes sense. And because you talked about पायल का पड़े always imagine is light, right? Me and Yash we were talking this yesterday only because बॉम्बे में एक जगह से कहीं और जाना हो तो बहुत देर लगती है. अहमदाबाद में ऐसा नहीं होता है हम लोगों को, हम कहीं भी फटफट पहुंच
या
सकते
बट
हैं.
अहमदाबाद में भी काफ़ी भीड़ बढ़ गई है अब. ट्रैफिक बुरा होते ही जा
हाँ, गाड़ियों की वजह से
40 मिनट का ट्रैवल टाइम मींस यू आर स्किपिंग अहमदाबाद, यू आर आउटसाइड.
हाँ 40-50 मिनट्स अगर हम गाड़ी में बैठे तो हम बहुत दूर चले गए हुए ऑलरेडी. और यहाँ पे तो वी आर, मैं तो बहुत कंफ्यूज रहता हूँ, राइट. एंड फ्यू वीक्स बैक आई वाज रीडिंग दिस बुक कॉल्ड अ लोनली सिटी. ठीक है, उसमें देयर दिस डॉक्यूमेंटेशन ऑफ सेवरल पेंटर्स राइटर्स फ्रॉम न्यूयॉर्क सिटी जो उनके लोनलीनेस के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. एंड बिकॉज यू टॉक्ड अबाउट लोनलीनेस आई वांटेड टू आस्क यू. एंड वहाँ पे द थिंग द जनरल थिंग इन द बुक इज़ कि न्यूयॉर्क में द आर्टिस्ट अगर वो भीड़ में एक साथ चल भी रहे ना तो शहर की लोनलीनेस इतनी बड़ी है कि तुमको भीड़ में भी ऐसा लगेगा कि आई एम जस्ट लोनली हियर, देयर इज नो वन विद मी. डू यू एवर फील दैट इन बॉम्बे? Does that loneliness it, because although you have friends here, close friends here, as you talk, you are also doing theater, but still does like the city affect that idea of loneliness?
there is a lot of internal noise inside me. A lot of it is, of course, psychological dealings with my past. But a lot of it is also a lot of joy because of the fact that I'm an artist and there are a lot of artist friends and projects and we do these kind of talks and discussions. So there's always those, that glimmer of hope and desire to, move on, whether it be in the city, which is like going crazy, or sitting quietly under the trees in Kamshet at our residency. There's always noise. So presently, where I am in my life, I'm looking to declutter, actually. I just looked at this room yesterday and I said, when I come back, when the thing is done, can I not just keep it like this? It might just be nice, just put a chatai or two and that's it. Otherwise, it's like full of all these paintings and books and that. It's just too much. So, I'm aware of how people in the city, like the film, with so many people and noise and, the city that never sleeps and all that, that within that people are so, they feel lonely. I understand that. And it's true about all the big cities of the world. I don't feel like that, personally. I mean, I don't feel it. I understand that people can feel like that, and including the fact that I'm since we spoke of happiness, loneliness, longing, me by myself, we spoke of all this, but in spite of that, I don't feel that. I don't, but I understand that people can, because I'm actually on the journey of, uncluttering this and finding that calmness, and that I can go through, that Churchgate station with millions of people around me, but with a smile on my face, and I'm just like calm inside. So I presume I'm seeking that.
And just before we end the podcast, I want to ask you the last thing. Pieces of art in theater, films, music that you want to recommend us to our channel. Anything, any play, any movie, any music that you like, that you personally like, any book.
Yeah, I can only talk about the field of art because I'm not an expert on anything else. Internet has opened up a lot of possibilities, and I think that's the first doorway into things which were not available to me. I had to literally go to libraries and open heavy books and turn pages to be able to look at art. But now it's available on your phone, on your iPad. You can see everything. You can do virtual tours of museums around the world without really traveling. But also travel has become cheaper now. It used to be like my God, to go to Europe. So I studied there and I lived there. Uh, but it was huge. It was like unthinkable. But now it's easier for younger people who are listening to your podcast to be able to. So I think internet, explore it, explore thoroughly. In the world of art there are many possibilities. Not only can you consume, learn, teach art online, but you can also find possibilities of actually, getting scholarship, fellowships, to be able to travel around the world within India. You can actually now just throw an email or a message on WhatsApp. Don't be afraid to reach out a master, an expert. Just write to them, say that you want to intern, you want to come work with them, observe. So you can do that easily now. Earlier, I remember I wrote a letter to a theatre director in Paris saying that I saw a play of yours which happened in Delhi during some French bicentenary celebration of their 200 years of independence in 1989. And I wrote a letter to them which reached in a month, and a reply came after a month. So after 2 months I got a reply in chithi pe, saying, yes, you're welcome, come. It's like, can you imagine, like, today? Yeah, so I'm saying, firstly, just explore these advantages that you have and reach out. And there is immense possibilities in any field, be it music, dance, theatre, film, whatever it is, visual arts. Also, what has happened is that there was a monopoly of certain nations over what we consumed earlier. So America was one, obviously, and because we were in occupation, under occupation, so England was another huge influence in India. There were a few others, but not much. But now, because of internet, you know exactly what is happening in Chile. You know what is happening in Thailand. Such great art that is being created by the tribals in New Zealand. That information is available to you. So the world has opened up. So I think first and foremost, just like throw yourself, get into that, explore, and there are possibilities of travel, exchanges, attending schools. My God, we used to complain. There still aren't many art schools in India. Dance, nothing. Theatre, very little. Visual arts, yes, but, and it's not in mainstream education except in few cities. But to hell with it. Now, people who want to explore art are traveling all over the world and studying. So all that is open now. So yeah, just first go and do that. Watch, consume, watch. To become an artist, I think it helps to watch a lot, to experience a lot. So go to museums, look at paintings, listen to a lot of music, different kinds. Don't settle in, don't get complacent. If your work is working well, my suggestion is don't settle into it so easily, because especially if you're successful, try and challenge yourself. Find correct criticism, where positive criticism can tell you how not to get complacent with your work, and you keep exploring more. Be hungry and be your own, worst critic. Yeah, I think that's what I would say to young people. And often people find it difficult in my field of work, because it's also connected with this whole thing of cinema and Bollywood. That how do we start theatre? How do we, young people, like, when they come to watch, how do we? So take Ahmedabad, for example. There are many people who do theatre in Ahmedabad. All you need to do is write an email to them or write a text to them saying, can we come? Can we be a part of your group? Can we come help you backstage? Go to the place, start watching things. Just start. Just starting literally is the way out. To tell you the truth, sometimes people find that difficult. Just two of you might not be able to go and talk to a theatre director. You might not be able to go to Natarani, speak to Malika or whoever. But what you can do, both of you, is nobody is stopping you tomorrow to say, oh, we've made a play. We're doing it in our drawing room. Can 30 people come and watch? And just start from there. So theatre has that beautiful quality that you don't need anything other than just you. You can start. Just start. Yeah.
That's a beautiful idea. Yeah, amazing. And this was me. I was Kunal with Atul Kumar. I hope you like that.
Thank you, Kunal, so much, because it's amazing. It's the first time I've done an interview or a podcast where you dived into very, very meaningful conversation right at the start without really asking me who I am, where I come from, where I studied and how I learned my theater and where all did I go. I mean, those usual questions, you didn't go there. And I think all that got anyway touched upon because you jumped directly into the heart of the matter. And I think, thank you for doing that. Thank you for being sensitive. Yeah. No, no, please. All the success to you both. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.